to see what we cannot see. If I go in blind, I'll look maybe not presentable. In a very similar fashion, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, "Al-mu'minu mir'atul mu'min." A believing Muslim is a mirror to his brother and sister. Which means, oftentimes, I don't know the weaknesses that I have in my life. Perhaps I have an anger issue, but I'm too unaware. Perhaps I have an argumentation issue. Perhaps I raise my voice. Perhaps I'm not praying my salah properly. Perhaps my wudu is inappropriate. And I can't see this, but my Muslim brother and sister can see this. And I should always be there and willing to correct myself. Sometimes, we may get in a bit of a dispute with our family. We may get in a bit of an argument. And one side is saying, listen, you're raising your voice. And you say, don't say I'm raising my voice. I know if I'm, and while I'm saying it, I'm also raising my voice. It's human nature that we're in denial. We don't want to acknowledge our weaknesses. But it's our responsibility to find the shortcomings in one another and very beautifully let each other know. SubhanAllah, the other day, I was getting ready to come for salah, and I had just finished dinner, and I didn't have time to go and check the mirror or anything. I quickly put on my jubbah, I got ready, I was about to walk out, and my daughter, she grabbed my jubbah and she says, Baba, don't go. I said, what happened? She says, you have some marks on your face. And I said, are you sure? And I go and I check in the mirror, I noticed I had eaten dinner, I didn't wash my face properly. And thank Allah, she said that to me and I quickly wiped my face, otherwise people would think I'm eating in my salah. So mashallah, she saw it and she told me about it. And that's how we're supposed to react. Now imagine, I'm walking out to give a very important meeting, and I just ate, and I have all this food, I have like ketchup all over my face, and somebody comes to me and says, hey brother, you should go and quickly wipe this off your face. And I say, hey, who do you think you are? I'm gonna go, I'm gonna show everybody the ketchup on my face. Obviously not. I'm gonna be embarrassed, and I'll say, you know what brother, Jazakallah khair, thank you so much, I'm really appreciative. But when I'm praying my salah, when I'm making my wudu, somebody will come to me and say, brother, when you're making wudu, let's not waste too much water. Or brother, when you're praying salah, be a bit mindful of your clothing. And say, hey, who do you think you are? I've been praying salah for 20 years. Why is my reaction so different? When it comes down to my deen, I feel like nobody has the right to tell me what to do. And when it comes down to my personal hygiene and what the case may be, I'm willing to acknowledge because why? I see the benefit. Now, this doesn't absolve the person from being gentle. When we correct one another, we have to be very gentle. SubhanAllah, I mention this story almost all the time, but I'll repeat it for those who may not have heard it before. When I was studying in South Africa, one day I went to pray salah, and after salah was done, I had one of the students who was a higher year student, very big alim, scholar from Nigeria. So he was waiting for me outside of the masjid. I walked outside and I met him and I said, Assalamu alaikum, how's everything going? And he's like, can I speak to you for a moment? He said, yeah, for sure. He's like, first, I have a hadiyah for you. He gave me a miswak. He said, this is a hadiyah for you. And I just want to ask you a question. When you enter in the masjid, if you can remind me, how do you enter? So I said, listen, you enter with your right foot and you recite this dua. And he says, oh, okay, Jazakallah khair. I just wanted to make sure because I think you entered with your left foot and you walked in very quickly, but I'm not sure. In case you do, in the future, walk in with your right foot. And I realized most probably I did enter with my left foot, but subhanAllah, he was so kind and gentle that I was willing to accept his advice. So we need to cultivate an atmosphere where we realize nobody here is perfect. We all have shortcomings. But how we correct one another should be done beautifully and be done as though we are speaking to our own biological brothers and sisters. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us mahabba in our community. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to correct ourselves. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala show us the love that we must show one another. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. Jazakumullah khairan. Wassalamu alaikum.